Approximately 272,000 people just in Pennsylvania either have no vision or they are visually impaired. And we are going to talk about that on today's show, The Girls. But first, my mom and I do a little chatting in the beginning of our show, right?
Yeah, we're going to chat a little bit. I can't wait to talk with Laura. We're going to have the family day today on the show. We're going to have a doctor with us as well who works in the office, and we're going to later on speak with a special little volunteer. You're going to have to wait and see who that is. But, you know, we always like to talk about what went on during the week, what we're doing, what's happening. And so do you have anything that stood out for you this week besides the ambulances and everything speeding up and down the street?
Busy street here. You know, I've been cleaning out some of my rooms, getting the house in order. Last time we spoke a couple weeks back about cleaning out some closets, and then I had a conversation with some of my girlfriends, and it's never, you can never just clean out one drawer, because that one drawer will always lead to more activities in the house. So I decided that I had my dining room and I was going to turn my dining room into another family room. Because everyone fights over the couch in our house and the sofa and what they want to watch on the TV. So now we have we're going to have two family rooms.
Two family rooms. How about the one downstairs?
And the basement. So everyone has a designated
room.
So
you have
the basement,
3 family rooms.
The basement is Mason's because he needs the most room because he likes to play basketball. Then the other family room is Mark's couch and then Alyssa's couch. So they have their primary seating arrangements and they know what they want to watch on TV. The new room is mommy room, and they're not allowed to drink in it or eat in it.
So now wait, why is this word family in there when it's like all individual?
It's the Janine room,
it's the Janine
and then
room.
Mark wants to smoke his cigars, and I told him, well, you can't smoke cigars in the house. So the basement, or I should say the garage, my daughter's room is above the garage, so he can't smoke in the garage. So if he wants another room, then he needs to get a storage room.
Oh my God.
And then he can have his cigar room.
All right, well, I'm not changing any rooms around because I already did that. But you know, when you're talking about cleaning out drawers, I cleaned out my pantyhose drawer. Ooh. Now that was good because, you know, pantyhose, who invented these things?
A guy, because the elastic waist, I don't care if you're skinny or not, they're always so tight at the top, and they just aggravate me by the end of the day.
Well, I ditched a lot of those pantyhose because if you don't wear them for a while, you take them and the waist just rip out.
That's why I love the summer, because you just don't wear pantyhose. You don't have to.
Yeah. Well, just when you feel like, you know, the winter doldrums and the whole bit's going on, I had a very, very nice thing happen to me, and I'm sure a lot of people out there, you know, you just feel like, you know, do you really matter in this world? Is there anything that you take? You have to watch what you say, but something was said to me today. Someone reached out to me and they apologized to me for something I don't even take as something that needed an apology. It was when I had my story years and years ago. A girl reached out to me and she apologized for how she left so abruptly and whatever, and it had bothered her all these years, and she reached out to me. And it was through a message on Facebook, a private message. And I really had to stop for like 10 or 15 minutes to feel how I thought about that. Because I just remembered back then, I thought I did something that made her want to quit, you know? So it was, both of us, I guess, had all these mixed emotions all these years. And it was such a great feeling to have somebody reach out to me like that.
That's nice. And it's nice to, you know, support something that's positive and spread those positive messages, especially on something like a social media site.
Yeah, but how about her to have that gumption to do that, to reach out to me like that? It's just like, wow, what a girl.
To say I'm sorry or to say I'm wrong, those words,
but to take the step to reach.
Strong to say that.
Yeah, to just take the steps and reach out to me. So I guess that's a nice thing to do. If you have anybody that you have any ill feelings toward, maybe you should reach out and mend it up, because, you know, we only are here today.
I like it. And the more, I guess, the older we get, the more we appreciate the little things like your sight and, you know, your health and that kind of stuff.
Right. So today we're going to talk about the vision part of it. Do you have a vision? And if maybe you are blessed with good vision, maybe you could help other people who, you know, are not as blessed to have vision. We have the Community Services for Sight. We have the President and CEO my
The
daughter-in-law.
big chief is here.
Yeah, Lori
Lesante.
Lesante is with us today. We're going to bring her right in here. Come on, Luby, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks for having us.
Well, thank you.
We always see you on a more social level, and we see you more when we're just, chit-chatting and out with the family and whatever, but now we invaded your space.
You're here on official business.
We're in your territory. And we mentioned about talking with you about community services for sight, which was formerly, for those who don't know, the Hazleton Blind Association.
Correct.
So for anyone watching out there, they might think, oh, this doesn't affect me, I'm not blind, and but it affects, again, 272,000 people approximately in Pennsylvania alone, and most of your patients and clients are not even blind, they have low vision, correct?
Yes, we have very few who are totally blind. A lot of our clients who are totally blind have been blind since birth or very shortly after birth. So, for a lot of the people that we serve, they become visually impaired as they get older, so a little later in life. So, Joe Bogwist always says to the kids when we go out and talk, he always tells people, I don't know what I'm missing because I never had it. But people who have become visually impaired as we get older, we have to learn how to live a completely different way of life now. When you're visually impaired and you call community services for sight, that takes a huge step to make that first phone call. Right. And when you're calling, now you have to have somebody who comes into your home, read your mail. Now, everything here is held in strictest confidence, but you might need help with writing your checks for your bills. So now other people are seeing how much money you're spending every month, what your income might be. And again, it's an invasion of privacy sometimes. And we need to do that in order to keep you independent. But people don't realize just all that's involved, because some people say, family members say, just call. And it's not as easy sometimes for that person to just pick up the phone and call, because there's so many things that come with it, accepting your vision loss, Our main mission here is to help people adjust to vision loss, as well as keep them independent in their own home so that they can stay in their communities and, again, stay out of, a nursing home or a personal care home. That's our mission here.
Right, so if anyone who's watching out there right now is noticing that they do have some vision loss, they've been to a doctor, they are either referred here or they feel that maybe their doctor, there's nothing left for them to do, they could give you a call. How could they contact you?
They can call us. Our number is 570-455-0421. Or they could shoot us an email. They can go to our website if they're on the computer, and it's communityservicesforsight.org. We have a brand new updated website. So.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And when we talk with you later, we're going to talk about what are some do's and don'ts you should do with your own vision. I know I yell at my friends for certain things that they do at night and in the morning with their eyes. We'll talk about that with Lori. We have some fundraisers coming up. A really new fundraiser that you have that you're all going to like, because it's really popular right now and they're great gifts. But when we come back, who are you going to speak with?
Well, we're going to talk with Joe Bogwist when we come back. So stay tuned, because you'll get to meet Joe.
Welcome back. You're watching The Girls here on SSP TV. We are focusing our attention today on the community services for sight, and with me is Joe Bogwist. And Joe was actually born blind, right, Joe? A lot of people in the community already know who you are, but for people who don't know who you are, who is Joe Bogwist?
Well, boy, that's a loaded question. Star of stage, screen, and television, and local entertainment of the best.
Of all time.
Yes. No, well, I'm just kind of an ordinary guy, that likes a lot of the same things everybody else does. Mm-hmm. And I enjoy a lot of things throughout the day in my own way, even though I can't see them. I love going for walks, and I love listening to music and playing music, of course, playing the guitar. And as you say, I have been born blind. I was born premature, and I needed oxygen at birth. I was an incubator baby, and the oxygen damaged the retina and caused permanent damage to my eyes. I have light perception a little bit, but that's about it. Nothing else, no solid objects, no colors, nothing like that. So because I grew up that way, and well, people say I'm still growing up. I actually haven't yet.
You haven't grown up yet?
No, I refuse. But because I got older as being blind from the beginning, it was never something I had to really get used to. It was just, well, this is just the way it is. So I think a lot of people that can a lot of the clients of the Blind Association can see a little. Matter of fact, I'm a very small minority of clients who cannot see at all. There aren't a lot of totals in the Blind Association here in this area, and the ones that can see a little bit, they have it harder, I think, because they're trying to depend on something that doesn't work as well as they'd like it to. Whereas me, it's like, okay, you just do things the way you can do them. Don't even, I mean, you don't think about something you've never had.
You've never had that sense before, so you never had to use it.
Right. You can't miss if you never had it. It doesn't make any sense.
For someone who has complete vision, it might be hard to even imagine. They do those exercises where someone will blindfold you and they'll ask you to move around the house and use your other senses. And if you've done that at home, or if you've tried any of these exercises, they've done them at school, it's very difficult to operate and navigate around.
Yeah.
So what should people really know about, being blind and how you use the community services for sight?
Well, we have a support group that I go to, and we talk about issues, things like how to mark packages at home with labels, packages that have food in them, so when you get something out of your freezer, you know what it's going to be for supper by the time it's thawed out, and it's not going to be something you didn't want. Knowing about how to keep things organized in home, just because, well, somebody like me can't look around and remember where I threw something and see where I threw it. I have to have the darn thing at the same place all the time, because if I don't, and I forget where I put it, I'll be groping around for a while till I find it, So and we help each other by basically sharing ideas of what works for us in everyday tasks in the home and things like that.
And you actually live alone.
Yes, yeah.
That's remarkable.
Yeah. I have a lot of help. My sister lives about a half mile from me, and she does my shopping for me as far as groceries. Because, of course, you go in a grocery store, they move things around all the time, and even if they didn't, you really can't know what's in what aisle. You don't know where things are if you can't see them. So, we do our shopping together, or sometimes I'll just, tell her, this is what I need. I'll make my list out on my computer and send it to her by email, and she gets the stuff that I need, her and my brother-in-law, and then they bring it over and I put it away.
I'm glad you brought that up with the technology. How has technology helped you in your everyday life?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. Well, the biggest thing for blind people to put them on a level playing field, I think, lately, within even the last 10 years, is something called a screen reader for a computer. What that is it allows the computer to speak with a synthesized voice, but a very good voice, a very easy to understand voice. Everything that's on the screen, except pictures and graphics, the screen reader cannot identify what they are, but it reads text very well, it reads emails, and the way we navigate as a blind people, we navigate using the keyboard with keyboard shortcuts and the arrow keys. We never use the mouse, because with the mouse, if you use the mouse with the screen reader I use is called JAWS for Windows. When you use the mouse, there's a bit of a lag time. If you move the mouse over an icon on a desktop or something, it might be speaking the one that you just left. And when you click on the thing you think you're on, it's not what you thought.
Sure.
So, but keyboard shortcuts allow you to move in smaller segments, just one per click, and then we know exactly where we are. And because I know how to type, I took typing in high school and college. I'm not a hunt and peck typer. I use my all the right fingers, and I think between that and keyboard shortcuts and keystrokes combinations, I can be faster than a person with the hand-eye coordination with the mouse. So the computer has allowed blind people now to get on the internet and to read things that weren't available to us before that.
Is Braille something that we're seeing that is going to disappear, or is it still important to use Braille?
It's interesting you ask. Braille is, it is less used than it was when I was growing up, many, many decades ago. I won't even mention how many.
Eons ago.
Too many.
With the dinosaurs.
Back when dirt was new.
Oh, wow. There you go.
But the Braille, it's because of this technology and because of, digital recording equipment and all, Braille is not as used as much anymore, but I still think it's important to know. I think that the kids going through grade school, I think they should still learn it. I think it's still important because it's low tech, but we don't have worry about power failure, batteries wearing out on a device. You can always read something. If you can write it down on a little card or whatever, you can always have it to read.
Okay, so we're running out of time, Joe, but I want you to tell everyone at home the importance of supporting the Community Services for Sight.
I think it's vital because people are living longer, and because of that, there are more people with vision problems than there used to be, and they need help, especially people that don't have people in their family to help them. They need help with things like grocery shopping, reading the mail, things like that. So I think it's very important to be able to have the Blind Association to help out in things like that.
All right, Joe, thanks for joining us. And when we come right back, Deb is back with us, my mom, and she is going to focus her attention on low vision. As Joe alluded to, most of the people who participate in the Community Services for Sight, formerly the Hazleton Blind Association, they actually have some sight. So we're going to hear from Dr. Anthony Silvetti when we come right back. You're watching The Girls right here on SSP TV.
Welcome back to The Girls. I'm your host, Deb Lesante. My co-host, Janine Lesante, just finished having an interview with Joe Bogwist, and now we are here with another important member of the Hazleton Community Services for Sight. This is Dr. Anthony Saletti, and as you can see, I have a pair of glasses on that are part of your low vision expertise here. You're an optometrist and you work here at the Community Services for Sight.
Yes, that's correct. I provide low vision services for those patients in need. That would be patients with low vision, which would be patients who have a visual acuity no better than 20/70 with their regular glasses or contact lenses. However, a more practical explanation of low vision is when somebody can't do their everyday routine with their regular glasses or contact lenses due to an eye condition.
Okay, so if you're out there and maybe you can't see as well as you used to see, you're finding it difficult to do everything as Doc said, go get your eyes examined first of all because maybe you need a new prescription.
Correct.
But then after the doctor tells you that there's nothing more that can be done, then maybe at that time they would need to see you, doctor?
Yes, and then there are different devices we could go over. We would first go over an examination to determine the extent of the vision loss and the cause of the vision loss, and then go over different devices for different tasks. There are different devices to help with reading, devices to help with television, different devices for activities such as knitting and crocheting, writing checks. So there's a lot of things that people can be aided with different low vision devices.
Okay, so say a person does call Community Services for Sight. They come here for an examination, and then after you examine them and you determine exactly what they need, are they helped right here at Community Services for Sight?
Yeah, I would go over all the devices with them, and then to acquire the devices, they would speak with the executive director, Lori, and she sometimes would deal with the state blindness and visual services.
Doctor, is there anything else that you could offer to people who have low vision that you'd like to recommend for them?
Well, there are different devices. I could just mention and show a couple of the devices.
Okay.
There are devices such as this, which looks kind of like a pair of glasses, but they're called TV glasses. They will enhance for a lot of patients, the screen on the television. Help them enjoy watching television more so than what they have been. There are a wide variety of magnifiers for reading. There are your basic handheld magnifiers. Some illuminated would have a light source to it, some non-illuminated. The illumination is very important as the magnification for a lot of patients, as well as contrast is important. It's a lot easier for somebody to see black on white or white on black than a combination of different colors. But everyone's different as far as what works for them. There are electronic magnifiers, which are magnifiers that look like a handheld magnifier, or you could even close it and put it down on the newspaper and it projects it on the screen. It has a camera within it and it would magnify it up to sometimes 10 or 12 times. And that would allow patients to be able to read. There are also non-portable versions of this which would look like a computer screen that somebody would be able to read with.
Well, all of these devices are rather ingenious, if I must say so. They're very helpful to people, and if you yourself could be helped by one of these and maybe economically they can't, we're going to go and talk with Lori again and join Janine, and we're going to find out how you, even though you don't have this, how you could help either by volunteering or donating. So I want to thank you, Doctor, so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us. Thank you for giving some of this advice, and if you have any more questions, they could get in touch with you here. Is that correct?
Yes, they certainly can.
Okay, so stay with us. We'll be right back. We're going to join Janine and Lori. Welcome back to the girls, and like the name implies, we have the girls here with us, Janine and I, and little granddaughter Isabella Josephine Lesante has joined us along with her mommy, Lori Lesante, and we are here at the Hazleton Community Services for Sight. And you might wonder what Bella has to do in all this. Well, Bella, you probably are the youngest volunteer that your mom's organization here has had. You started when you were 5, you're now 10. You've been volunteering and helping out at Camp Sight and doing all that, but you also had your own little fundraiser that you did. Why don't you tell the people about your penny drive?
Okay, well, I started the penny drive last year and many schools participated in it, so I wanted to do it again this year to help Community Services for Sight raise enough money so that they can open up a learning center with computers, art classes, cooking classes, yoga, and stuff to keep the community active.
It's very important to volunteer, isn't it?
Yes.
What do you get out of volunteering?
Good feelings.
Yes.
And you feel good helping your community.
And how much money did you raise with those pennies? How many pennies did you get? A couple thousand, huh?
Yeah.
That was great. Who had to count all those pennies?
The schools, right? No. Lori, when we talk about the volunteering for the community to know how important the volunteering is, but also the fundraising, you really rely on fundraising monies for this operation to run correctly.
We do. We're fortunate because we have a contract with the Pennsylvania Association for the Blind, so we do get funds from them. We get some money from our local United Way here in Hazleton, but we serve 3 counties. We serve Southern Luzerne, Carbon, and Schuylkill, so we need to raise money to provide all the services that we have. So fundraising is critical, and new fundraisers are always something that we're looking for. You know, we have a new board member, Dr. James Diem, who's doing a race for us. You know, we have a beer, wine, dine, and 9 at Sugarloaf Golf Course that's going to be taking place. And we have some great friends that we've made along the way. Jeff Fritz is doing a car show for us. The Anthracite Car Club is doing a car show and a cruise for us. And then we come up with our own things as well along the way. You know, we come up with, you know, we sell Krispy Kreme donuts, you know, things like that that are like...
Talk about the bracelets.
And our newest fundraiser is something that right now is very hot with Alex and Ani. So we have a bracelet for you, Debbie, and we have one for Janine.
Ooh. These are so neat, and this is very successful so far, hasn't it been?
It has
Thank
been
you.
very, very successful. We're very fortunate. I came across them kind of by chance. And the company was gracious enough, they donated the cost for the mold. So We just had to pay for the actual bracelets, but they're only $20, so they're a very reasonable price, and they make great gifts, and they look fabulous with the Alex and Anis, so they match right along with them.
And they're adjustable, they fit all sizes. Lori, what are the 3 charms hanging from here? Do they have a significance for the Blind Association?
The first one, the longest one, is our logo, actually, and our logo was developed a couple years ago by my husband, Sam Lesante Jr. came
Family
up with that
affair.
logo. So, and then the red, we chose red because red is a very vibrant color. So a lot of people who are visually impaired can see that color. And then, you know, of course, the white cane is white with the red tip. So we wanted to try to bring some color in there. So,
Okay.
so that's why we go with red.
80% of your operation is run by the money that you get from these fundraisers. 80%. So imagine trying to run your own function on 80% of what is donated to you. So it's really imperative that we have volunteers and we have people come out and do things like the runs and the the other benefits that you talked about. So
There's one other thing, too, that people may not remember. Dr. Jerry Shepperson was a former member of the board, a very fine member of the board, very well known in the community as well. And a lot of people are always wondering what they could do, not only for Jerry, who passed away, but also other people in their memory, to keep their memory alive. Memorial donations are fabulous, aren't they?
Yes, they are. We are always very honored to receive a memorial donation. And yes, you can certainly do that. We do notify the family, of the donation. So, we accept donations. We get all kinds of donations, money, gift certificates, a service, things like that. It's very important to us.
All right, well, we could sit here and talk for another hour, which we're going to do. We're going to go have some dinner, but if you want any more information, you can give Lori a call here at the Community Services for Sight for donating and whatever else you might need if you need the services. So as always, make sure you watch us on The Girls, because you never know where you're going to find us. See you next time.